pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Harold, for coming tonight. Okay, roll call, Diane.
Ta-da.
Mr. Douglas?
Here.
Mr. Barber? Mr. Bruno?
Here.
Mr. Irwin?
Here.
Mr. McDonald?
Here.
Mr. Tatro, Water Sewer Superintendent? Mr. Farrell, Highway Superintendent? Mr. Jarvis, Deputy Superintendent? Ms. Barber, Confidential Secretary to the Board? Mrs. Nursta, Historian? Christian Marino, Recreation Director? Mr. Gwinnett, Zoning Officer? Chaka, Dog Control Officer, and our guests. And Mr. Favreau, our Town Attorney.
Tax collector, town clerk. Thank you. Okay, we got a lot to cover tonight, so we're going down as much as we can until we get detoured. Number 4, acceptance of all departments, water, sewer, Elcor, highway, town clerk, dock control, youth, zoning, code officer report, supervisor report, website, ACO and banking report. I need a motion and a second to accept.
Make motion.
Here we go.
Craig Bruno.
Second.
Mel. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, number 5, I need a motion and a second to accept the regular meeting of June 26, 2023.
I'll make it.
Rick?
Second.
Jim Douglas? All in favor? Aye. Diane, good. Community input, anyone sign up?
Nope.
Anyone sign up? Anyone? Okay. Once, twice. Okay, number 7, resolution discussion acceptance of Peter Stone for the planning board. Bob, you want to say anything?
Make the motion.
Or Craig made the motion?
I'll second.
Second by Mel.
A resolution approving the appointment of Peter Stone to the town approved planning board, whereas approved. Town planning board has recommended that Peter Stone be appointed to the town planning board through December 31st, 2030. Therefore, be it resolved, the approved town board agrees with the recommendation of the planning board and appoints Peter Stone to a 7-year term effective January 1, 2023 through December 31, 2030.
Any questions, anything? Bob, you want to say anything, or we're?
No, since he's been at a few planning board meetings and also zoning board meetings, but stating that the planning board does not have full complement, that seemed like, and he was more apt to sit on that board.
Awesome. In there, he's got request overview, requirements needed, and what the position entails. I assume you've taken care of that.
Yeah, he has everything, yep. And he's going to, I believe, fulfill Mr. Lucan's term.
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
it says.
Is that right? Thank you.
Yep. Okay, roll call, Diane.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
And Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Okay, number 8, motion and a second for resolution accepting the Golden Apple Club contract renewal.
I'll make it. Second it.
Rick made a motion, Craig second.
A resolution approving the town's 2023 contract with the Golden Apple Club to provide services to the Golden Apple Club and authorizing the supervisor to execute the same. Whereas the Peru Golden Apple Club provides services to the citizens of the town of Peru, and whereas it is in the best interest of the citizens of the town of Peru support this activity on an annual basis, this contract shall renew January 1st annually following this contract. Now it is hereby agreed as follows: during the fiscal year 2023, the town of Peru, consideration for the Peru Golden Apple Club providing services to the citizens of the town of Peru, agrees to pay Peru Golden Apple Club $4,500. The money paid by the town of Peru to the Peru Golden Apple Club should be used for services for all the senior residents of the town of Peru. One question I've got is if this is going to automatically renew every year, are we paying the same amount every year?
Yes.
Yes.
By what date will that be paid every year?
We pay it after our
first,
initial.
when we do our contracts.
There was a delay in the beginning because it had kind of disbanded, right? And now it's been restarted.
Yes, that shut down because the people that were running for all the years were done. We weren't sure if we could get somebody to back up and running it. Kathy is going to be back up and running it, right? Pam?
Yes.
she's the president.
Yeah.
Also, the 4,500 that we owe for 2023 will also, on top of that, is the excess that prior to COVID, people had paid in, because it was $5 or $10 every time they went. No, the first initial one, I believe, so they wanted their money back. So we ended up also on top of the 4,500, or we will with this check run. It was $598 or something extra.
Okay.
And that was for extra money that they had collected.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you, Ben. Roll call.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
And Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Give me a hesitation.
He's just like, okay, let's do this right, Diane.
Okay, number 9, resolution, I need a motion and a second for resolution appointing a new budget officer for the 2023-2024 year coming up.
I make that motion.
Jim made the motion.
I will second Jim's motion.
Jim and Craig.
A resolution approving the appointment of Pamela Barber to the position of budget officer effective July 24, 2023. Whereas approved.
Okay, never mind. I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry. Go ahead.
Whereas the Peru Town Supervisor has recommended that Pamela Barber be appointed to the position of budget officer for the town of Peru. Whereas the town supervisor serves as the budget officer, although he has the ability to delegate this authority to appoint any person to serve as the budget officer as per town law, town law 29, section 4-2. Therefore, be it resolved, the Peru Town Board agrees with the recommendation of the town supervisor, Brandon Powell, to fill the position of Pamela Barber at a rate of pay $1,578 effective July 24, 2023.
And I've talked to all you guys about this. Obviously, Pam has always been a monster part of this budget. What I call the association of town, because I am honestly just swamped and too busy to even think about it. So why not pay the person that does it, mostly anyways. They said I could appoint anybody except for a councilman. So Pam obviously is the easy choice.
I agree.
Is that rate of pay?
That is one time a year.
Okay.
Yep, once a year. That $15.78 is a whole year for the budget officer.
Okay.
Yep. Roll call.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Enthusiastically, yes.
And Mr. McDonald?
100% yes. Happy to give up that money. She can
Happy
have
to
it.
get Brandy out of it.
That's next.
Okay, number 10 we're on now.
All right.
We're on surplus now. Thought she was calling you surplus. For the next one. Number 10, I need a motion and second for a resolution to approve the 2007 International Model 700 surplus equipment to be sold in auction international sites as parts only truck.
I'll make it. Second the motion.
Rick made it, second by Craig.
Mr. Irwin, do you have any questions before I begin?
They're good. Wait till you get going.
A resolution authorizing the town supervisor to approve to declare the Highway Department's 2007 International Model number 7400 dump truck as surplus and offer it for sale on Auction International. Whereas it is having been determined in consultation with the town highway superintendent, the town has no further need for 2007 International Model 7400 dump truck hereinafter referred to as the truck. Whereas the town has declared it as surplus equipment, and whereas the board is going to put the truck up for sale in as-is condition in a parts-only truck, be it resolved, the town supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to make known to the public that such sales to be as-is, with no warranties or guarantees expressed or implied in such offer to sell the truck on Auctions International website. And this further result of this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Want to say anything, Mike?
Yeah, the lowest listed as surplus, it really wasn't, was a first line truck. Last Tuesday, we were getting the trucks in the garage ready for our 9-month inspection. Our newest employee, Kyle, is here, thank God. The box up, because we're going to all asphalt Wednesday for down all table. I was washing the floors in the mechanics bay, went over and had them look at it, and the frame is cracked through. It's a double frame truck, cracked right through both frames to the point there's nothing left to the front frame. So we brought the truck right down to Jimmy Rocks, had him look at it. He said, Mike, I can weld that frame, but it's gonna bust in two. With the weight we carry, it's a liability issue that we can't have plowing roads and hit somebody head on with a truck or whatever out, taking a chance. So Jimmy did type me a letter, Tyler and I actually picked it up, and I left it in my town truck, and I didn't bring my town truck tonight. Stating what the truck was, that the safety issue, to take it out of commission. So in the meantime, I did call Mark and the Auctions International, because I didn't know how to list it. If you just list it like you normally would, that it has a cracked frame. Somebody that plows like a parking lot, you know, at a big, you know, industrial thing, it would be all right, because they're not going up and down the road, it would be out the road. It could do that, and then we did talk to Jimmy, but the motor's good, transmission, but by the time we pay the labor to take it out, it just, we're gonna make as much money, what we can, just selling a hole and let them, whoever buys it, piece it out. And the plow
Or
here
use
was
it
it.
for parking lots.
So that's why we didn't plan on doing this. It was a kind of a surprise, but kudos to Kyle for spotting it. This was the truck Daryl drove last winter, which we were down with people. We worked on it in between. He just told us it was wrong. We knew it was getting close. It was just stretching too long. One way. So I'll bring something up. Kind of ties in with this under old business. Just a suggestion for the board.
What do you think they'll bring?
What's that?
How much do you think you'll get for that?
I honestly don't know. The market's pretty flooded. It's a problem. I gotta replace it because we were gonna order one for 26 in March or February. I gotta order it for a 26. So we were looking for a used truck. Charlie Boyd did find me 2 used ones, single axles, in Vermont. But I'm negotiating, I won't say the town. Right now, a local town, so we would know the truck. I will, if we can kind of get the deal in place, I will bring it. We don't have to rush right now, because I don't really need it till winter, is when we're gonna need it. So we'll see if we can work out something. I'd rather deal with the local town. Then we know what we're getting.
So is there any liability to us if somebody decides to put it on the road?
Nope, it's
So
sold as is condition, parts only.
I can't imagine with past inspection to be on the road at this point.
No, I-
Well, probably parking lot.
Crooked people passing. Okay, sounds good.
Roll call.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
And Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Number 11, I need a motion and a second for reaffirm in accordance of the comprehensive planning for the town of Peru. I need a motion and a second, and Adele probably will want to speak on this part.
Motion.
We got a motion by Craig and a second by Jim.
A resolution reaffirming the accordance and support of the comprehensive plan for the town of Peru, whereas the Peru Town Board approved the comprehensive plan for the town on June 2006, in recognition of the value of the comprehensive plan to assist in the effort to guide decisions and furtherance of the logical and orderly growth and development of the town. And whereas the aforementioned comprehensive plan is serving as the foundation for a current effort to update the zoning ordinance for the town of Peru, now therefore be it resolved, the Peru Town Board reaffirmed in June of 2012 the value and relevancy of the aforementioned comprehensive plan and guiding land use decisions in the town of Peru. And be it further resolved, the town of Peru again reaffirms support for the proposed Hayward Basin building renovations as outlined in the aforementioned comprehensive plan. Resolve this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Adele?
Right, so the application that we're working on to put bathrooms in Hayward Mason building asks, is this supported in your comprehensive plan? And of course it is, but it's 10 years old. So I know I've done applications before when they've asked, well, if it's over so many years old, could you reaffirm it? So I figure it's just a safety thing. Yes, I can say it was reaffirmed this year. The board still supports the comp plan and this part of it. That's all about.
Any questions?
Very good, thank you, Adele.
Thanks, Adele. Roll call.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Do you want to discuss the other application project?
Quote?
Yeah, you can. Okay.
So I sent you an email. So the Leary quote is good, but it'd be really nice to have a design. And we have a design, but that's for the 2 bathrooms. And I don't have an opinion on how many bathrooms should go down there. But the application is going to look a lot better with a visual. Someone say, oh, this is what you're going to do. I got Jim Douglas's permission to give Peter Gibbs a call, and he said he'd come in, have a look at the building, check the electrical service that Courtney was worried about or concerned about. Have a look, make sure, you know, where the bathrooms would go, how that dividing wall would go, sketch it out. He has also worked with the architectural firm that gave us that original evaluation and design down in Saratoga. He said he could touch base with them, see if they could come up with another sketch, including a dividing wall. He said he'd do his part for free. He didn't say what the architectural firm, and he said he likes working with them because they're a historical architectural firm. So this will be reviewed by the National Park Service, who are very concerned what's going to happen with any historical building, and if anything comes from an actual historical architect, they have, you know, they give it good credence.
Oh, excellent.
So, I mean, we'll just work with Peter, see how far he can, and then hopefully he'll be in the building next week, and I'll tell you when, and then Courtney, you can meet him. Is that okay? And anyone else, I'll just tell people when he's available. I've got to get in there and take photos. We have to sort of like have before photos of what's there.
As further background, last meeting we were talking about it, we were under a lot of pressure, it's hard to find anybody. But I did get in touch with Pat O'Leary, as busy as he is with all the flooding going on. We did walk through that building, got a rough idea. Rick was thinking in terms of 4 bathrooms. We can scale that back. One thing to be aware of in there is that we are not like a normal house dropping through a wooden floor and going in. We got to cut a hole in concrete in order to get bathrooms and, you know, toilet, you know, pitch and whatever. That's going to drive that price up. But I did meet with him, and part of that discussion, I told him that Courtney would take care of the front door, and probably I brought that up. Courtney, we're talking a year from now anyway. Courtney do the grinder pump and
Be an expert by then.
yeah, for the entrance is the other part of it too. You and I had talked about the entrance.
I did speak to Greg Badger about a kiosk. Does that ring a bell with anyone? They have it at Babby Farm. I guess you like, it would display his art, and then you can press a button and you get all the background information.
Yeah, that's through Greg, working with that. On any of the pictures, you can scan them, and then it gives you background information. What Greg is hoping for eventually is anywhere you walk in the town of Peru, you can bring it up and it'll tell you where, you know, what you're looking at, you know, where that historical building used to stand or still stands, depending on the site.
So I'm thinking in the building itself, for some sort of historical interpretation, we could have some sort of kiosk that's a bit interactive. And I got a cost on that with the paintings and the background of the paintings instead of on your phone.
Yeah,
Same sort of thing, but just a bigger display.
I haven't brought it up to Greg. You know, that's
I
somewhere.
chatted with him today, and I just said, is that a good idea? He said he liked the idea, so I'll get a cost.
Yeah.
Because if the Babby Farm's doing it, they should know.
I like that.
We have to have some historical interpretation. I mean, we're going through, the grant is through a historical group. They're going to want something more than bathrooms, unless we do like outhouses.
I think that's, you know, I'm not familiar with what the grant requires. You know, so I'm just doing the things that generally
Yeah.
take care of that. And then you've got
Yeah,
all these requirements that you need to answer, which is,
yeah.
so.
The only thing that scares me on this whole thing with 2 bathrooms down there, that was, I don't know what Ally said, went through the last farmer's market, but I think there was 600 people.
Yeah, I think he said.
There was 660 cars at 1 o'clock.
It's crazy.
When you start talking that many people and only 2 bathrooms, we're looking for a problem. We're still gonna have porta potties down there, where I think 4 bathrooms would handle it. I just have a problem spending that kind of money on 2 bathrooms.
Yeah, I think 4 is a great idea also, Rick.
We're gonna be caught and not have enough.
The other part of that could be 2 bathrooms. And again, you're not gonna be able to cut that cost in half with just 2 bathrooms. but, you know, a couple porta potties to handle for busy times.
That could be a thought too. I know what you're saying too, because we're looking at the long range thing of it.
I mean, when you get that many people down there, I mean, 600 cars obviously is not 600 people, that's just cars.
If we put the 4 in to begin with, that, and I'm looking at a toilet and a urinal in each one. I believe in the long term, you're going to have enough there for, in the long haul, down the road. If we don't do that and we're gonna piece it together, then we're gonna be tearing up that floor again for no reason.
Yep.
I don't have a problem oversizing now because down
Now's it,
I
if
mean,
we're gonna do it.
it's not like we're
now's the
oversizing
time
now
to
when we
do it.
know a lot of them are being used,
Yes.
obviously. The porta potties already.
Yes.
I mean.
And how many porta potties do we have down there right now?
2.
Just 2?
We used to only have 1. Last year we started getting 2 because of the markets and stuff.
How often are they pumped?
I don't know.
Okay,
I think they come weekly, but it might be
weekly?
bi-weekly, I'm not sure.
All right.
Okay. Anything else on this?
Nope.
No, just that, you know, we'll probably need some sort of dividing wall, right? Unless, because you want people just to use the bathroom side of the building?
Yeah.
Yeah, front door, bathroom left, bathroom, 2 bathrooms left, 2 bathrooms right.
The way it was designed initially, you walk in and all the bathrooms were on the right. It was just half the building that was open on the right.
That would be only, I think there's only enough room for 2 bathrooms there.
Okay, so
That's why 4 bathrooms would be less
you're
in.
thinking the whole main floor to bathrooms?
Yeah, there's still over by the stairway, there's an additional room off to the left.
Okay, so when Peter comes, maybe you can be there too, because I don't know what layout you want.
Get you in there, get Peter in there,
And Courtney.
put some
I
lights
need
in.
to see that.
Ellen, yeah, sure. She said she liked it. Is that what she said?
Yeah, I'm working with it.
Yeah, as soon as I know what his time frame is, we'll figure it out.
You and I questioned whether we wanted to go 4 bathrooms or 2.
Well, we have enough money, right, Adele?
No.
Well, they said that.
We never have enough money.
It's up to 88,000, they're having to put in the grinder pumps or the electricity or any historical
I just think
insulation
it's
or the front
Okay, I
door.
read that we had to go
Hatch it.
100, maybe 30, because we have to prove has to match it.
It's just gonna keep spiraling.
Okay, anything else on that?
No, I don't think so.
You all right with the 4 bathrooms?
I'm fine with 4.
I mean, so we have to come up with something, but, I mean, let's do it right the first time.
I'm fine with 4. See where it is money-wise. See where it is. Looking at it. Okay, number 12. Need a motion and a second resolution for contract approval for engineer ventures for the sprinkler system in the highway. Rick?
Second.
Jim Douglas?
A resolution to authorize engineering ventures for engineering fees for the recommendation for bid specifications for the Peru Highway Garage Sprinkler System Project. Whereas to authorize engineering ventures to prepare bid specifications and advertise for receipts of bids once complete for the project known as the Peru Highway Garage Sprinkler System Project. Whereas bid specifications, timing, and authorization will be in accordance with all applicable codes, and whereas engineering ventures estimated their cost and subcontracted mechanical engineering's cost be as per attached estimate to be $10,000, therefore be resolved, said proposed authorization is approved as per requirements, and be resolved, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Okay, and that might, yes. Number 13, discussion, 2023 Bridget, New York rejection, Mike.
Got a letter a week ago, telegraphed for the second time. We did not get funding, the only funding for 3 bridges for Cook County. I had the whole list, I went over the whole state, from one end to the other. You know, probably, I'm gonna say 90% like the county. Couple towns did get stuff, it's the second time we've been rejected on the same spot. We thought for sure with the collapse of that road last year and 2 foot gone into the blacktop, that we would have a good shot at, but there was no towns, nothing for towns, you know. To me, they can say all they want, that politics comes into play and who you know. This is 4 or 5 times that I've been here that we'd applied for Bridge New York, we haven't got one there. It's pretty frustrating. I did reach out to Jim Craig. I called him a week ago, and I called him again because I hadn't heard back. He is currently on vacation. It's going to be a bridge. What happens is it gets turned over to the county. It's kind of somewhat drawn up, but it hasn't cost us any money because of the way that worked. You had to use one of the 5 engineer firms supplied to your county for this Bridge New York grant. So I hated to reinvent the wheel, so I just reached out to them to see if they'd be interested in doing this project, because it's got to be done. It's regardless, it's gone. I've been saying all along, we've been kicking the can. By 24, this has to be done one way or another. In the meantime, he reached back to me and said they talked about it when he got back from vacation, and what I'm looking for more importantly right now is, especially now with the other bridge and Carpenter's Flats being done, we're getting more traffic. It's not the main detour, but we're still seeing an uptick in traffic, which is only going to pound more. And then you're going to have the crop work between the 2 big ports is going to be running on that. They have been, but it just gets more worrisome with things knowing what's underneath, which isn't much. So I'm trying to see if they would, even if it's going to cost them money, come up with their engineers and tell them this needs to be a weight limit, it needs to have red lights and only 1 lane, narrow it up or something until we just figure out what we want to do here. It's a board call, whether we keep putting this off for Bridge New York. I don't know. I lost all confidence in it. I just, it's an expensive project. It is going to be a county bridge once it's done, but I was hoping we got it this time. I wanted to get this one started because I know what we're looking at Westcott, and we already pretty much been told that's not going to qualify because there's only 4 or 5 houses on the other side, and we got to put a temporary bridge in to even think about doing that one because there's no other way to do it. It's 2 10-footers there, so everything's going to mushroom here. I guess I'm looking for the direction what to do. So he'll be back in a week. A week's not going to make a big difference in the board meeting, but I'm hoping they'll do it. I did talk to Engineering Ventures today. If they won't, they would put a kind of like an emergency thing in to send their construction engineers out to tell us what should be done in intern immediately on that, whether it's weight restrictions or whatever, so we figure out what we want to do. So that's what I'm more worried about. Try to get a decision in place before school starts back up here.
I like the idea of a stop sign and 1 single lane, one.
When we stop, it has to be red lights.
Yeah, red lights.
And that's not going to be cheap. I haven't even thought about a cost for that because I'm not sure which way to go. And I'm trying to get an answer on the weight restriction, or should that only be 1 lane for because the lane going towards Steesville that's by far less one that collapsed. There was 2 foot gone on each blacktop there's still got a barrel there. The folder still got some. But it's a major concern, safety concern.
So the cement seems to be holding pretty good.
Yeah, it's covering up what's gone. It's a temporary Band-Aid. Like I said, we were in CNS was pretty sure we were going to get the funding, but it did. We did.
How much, what's the ballpark figure on that one?
I think it was 1.2, 1.4 million. The Bridge North, which is 90% federal, 5 state, and then we would have a 5% match. And then, once it was in, we would sign the paperwork over to the county. From then on, it would be theirs. because of this fan. But it's just that additional cost, just, slow taxpayers are gonna pay for this if we don't get any funding. I don't know, it's a
Yeah,
lot.
there's not much way to go.
And the worst part is, they were all put in, as I said before, same time, and they're all pretty much. This one has the most traffic, so this is probably, this is the most worrisome for me.
Wait 2 months and then blame it on the state because of the detour. How's that fix it?
Yeah, and that's the market, when I talk to market engineering, that's what today, that's, with the extra traffic with that one, is,
And that's all the way to at least December,
yeah,
at least December.
I think it'll go quicker than that, they do.
Yeah.
There's usually bonuses for trying to get ahead. I don't know if that's built in or not this time.
I don't know, can you ring Billy Jones's ear and say, hey,
They call,
we're rocking a hard place here, but
definitely call them.
throw your weight around.
See,
That's
if
Dave,
you come up
about
and take a
federal.
look, one day while he's up here next. See, doesn't hurt to make a phone call, so.
When's the next time you're having dinner with Elise?
No, you're talking about, not talking to me.
Well,
Call some of the people and see what happens.
Call again, Dave. and-
Well, it's getting close to election time, they all want to show their faces on something, they give something, so. Let's reach out. Okay, so. We will keep looking into it, and I call Billy and you call your friend.
I'll call Robbie Timmons.
So, okay, anyways, next thing, number 14. Discussion, there's no motion, just discussion, School Street washout, Peru School district response letter that we got from me, Mike, and Matt. Had a meeting with them a month and a half ago, was it roughly?
Yeah.
Roughly a month and a half ago. I hate to say it, but kind of felt like it was gonna go nowhere anyways. And then obviously more things have washed out over by the School Street end, with all this rain and flooding that we've got. The bank is going more and more and more down. Mike has concerns of a tree and different things coming into the neighbor's property now. It's caused by the school, obviously, from all their drainage, all their tying in. I mean, they admitted in the meeting that they're tying in with a lot of their drainage from the roof stuff. They got rid of a lot of green space because of parking. Obviously, they're directing water at both ends of the school and we're having problems on both ends of the school. It's been discussed. They're saying that, you want to
They're
discuss
saying they can use municipal funds to fix private property. Right, and we're not asking them to do that. We want them to stop putting so much water on all those private property. So they need to develop a catch basin, or they need to engineer something to take all the rain that's coming off their parking lots and the roofs and stop dumping them down into small drains, which is what they're doing. Their letter says, well, we researched this, so we can't use school funds on somebody's private property to fix the right of way. That's obvious. But that's not what we asked them to do. They're basically saying, yeah, we're dumping all this water, but it's not our problem. So I think we need to, what does it cost to do a digest? You talked about one being done before, with the water coming off the roof and parking lots.
Yeah, and actually, we could get the same outfit, Courtney and I had over by Leon Blair's place. We had an outfit come in camera. Yeah, that videotapes it, and there, you wouldn't need to dye it, that would, and I don't guarantee you where it goes.
I mean, I think we all know, I think we just need to put something that's black and white.
And Bird Outlets, point blank, it's off down right away, it's not, I would work for forward, I know that like with the product, it's,
So if that pipe is on the town right away, can we plug the pipe?
the pipe's not on it, it's off.
It's off.
But I know what's gonna happen.
Mike mentioned
They're
that.
gonna tell me
You can do that during the meeting.
If our Corps engineer gets involved, which I would love to see, they're gonna have to put a defensive pond, and the defensive pond is gonna have to go where the baseball field is, on their property.
They don't want to do that.
Well, they don't want to fix, they
And that would.
don't want to do anything, honestly.
Well, here's my question. Years ago, they're saying that that's private property. Is it our property? And if it is our property, who gave them permission to dig all the way down through there and put all those drainage tiles in?
They did.
They did it. They did it.
There's
They did it on their own property.
And if you wanna know the truth, Button Brook actually ends at the end of Pam's Road there. That is a glorified driveway for Dr. Kim's. The school's got a gate there, and I met with Matt LaFay a couple weeks ago, before this really got me. I was boiling, because it's watched more, and I took more pictures, and the end pan now it's turned. And it's undermined the end pan, the big pipe. I said, you believe me? I mean, we've been maintaining that road, so they're not arguing, so you can say, yeah, it's a town road. But they put that gate in for the new building. They have no access unless they use that to get to their building, unless they go across their ball field, so. And Matt knows that, but he's got people higher up. Like you said, when we went to that meeting with Matt and Brady, we knew when we went in that it was probably not going anywhere, and it did.
I think if for the next board, we could have a cost of what it would take to do that, the camera tests as you just talked about, and figured out, so the board could discuss if they want to send that money and then send that analysis to the school board and say, it's very clear what's going on, and you need to fix this.
And it's on both ends.
Along with pictures of the washout things that are happening.
And it's on both ends. I mean, just because it's not washing out over here, we know all the people on Elm Street are having problems. I mean, I would be kind of mad too when you got, thousands of gallons of water getting rushed on their street and down their yards, every rainstorm, because there's more coming off. Like you said, they said they did tie stuff in, and the new parking lots and different things. So, but they did say they put a 30 by 30 green space, even though they took that big other monster green space out.
What is the process to get the Army Corps involved in that?
Probably a phone call, but it's changed hands, so I don't know who took John Connell's. I did reach out to DEC when this whole thing started. They're saying it's not really a protected stream, but Courtney just went through all that on the other end to get it. The pump station.
Wetlands.
But it come down, and I could tell they pretty much told me that they didn't want to get in an argument between town and the school. But I said, somebody needs to come out and see what's going on.
It's more of a trout stream than that culvert we worked on up on top of Petersville.
It just,
Hey Matt, one of the school board members came to me while I was working, he said that he'd like to meet with Mike, because he said they talked about this at the school board meeting, but very briefly. And he said, well, what is it? And I said, it's your water, going into our property. But Eddie had said that he would talk to you. Do you think that maybe we should let more of the school board members? I think he was trying to.
We sent letters.
We invited them all to that meeting.
Yeah.
They're not gonna they're not gonna go against their school attorney in what they pretty much.
I think we see what the study costs, we get this done, and then we take the results either to the school board, the school directly, and or the Army Corps.
Yep. I agree.
and the travesty is, when I started on this, it was a little hole.
Yeah, it was a lot smaller.
That's, for a little bit of money for the school, they could take care of it, we wouldn't have been in this argument with them. Here we are.
Okay, to find out when we can get that, how much it is. Okay, number 15. Request to change the chicken zone code. Bob.
I'm sorry. So, you see a letter that came in, actually, I think it was addressed to Christine, and someone on Valcourt Heights is asking that they have 2 acres, and asking if they would allow, she wants a few chickens. So in our zoning code, hobby farms where chickens may be permitted, you have to have 3 acres of zoning. But it also doesn't, that zoning district is in the rural residential, and hobby farms are only permitted, in the rural use only and in the APA. But again, you have to have 3 acres. I know we talked about at one time updating the zoning code and allowing for chickens. So many chickens, based on the amount of land that you have. But it's one of those things where we.
Free range or pen?
Well, they have to be penned. It says, chickens have to have in the zoning code, it says it has to be, have to have suitable fencing. So, this comes up now and again, folks are, and we've had, I believe, one variance application for chickens, a gentleman down on the Bear Swamp Road, that they were approved. They went through the zoning board, and got approval for no more than, I think it's 10 chickens or something, and no roosters and such, but.
My personal opinion on this, and it's only mine, I feel that somebody that, like this individual, should go like the other guy did down in Bear Swamp, go to the board as an individual, not as a whole town-wide, thing. This is my opinion, anyone, we can all talk about it, but I think it should be per case, and not a whole town-wide thing, because you could get somebody that has.
Just say case by case basis.
That's what I feel.
I agree with you, Ryan.
That's what I feel. Just because they can look at a different zoning, a different area easier, because there's a gentleman that called me up the other night, he has 2 acres, but he could put 2 acre, he could put the chickens on the right side 2 acres, not off the property line, but then again, he knows it would disturb the crap out with his neighbors.
Right.
So I think we should look at it as case to case, and where they're gonna put it and everything else.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Zoning board decision.
Okay.
That sound good?
Fine by me.
Yeah. Okay, where are we at? Number 16, other business already. Other business, I will bring up other business first. We had a request because there were certain things going on in this town and with people and everything, to not have this meeting the second weekend of August. So I would like to make a motion to not have a meeting August 14th. And we will just have one like we did in July. Obviously, it's worked out good. We got the bills paid, obviously, everything on time. This is what it used to be years and years ago. It's not that we're going to continue doing this, but there's a lot going on with certain people. So we'd like to postpone the August 14th meeting, not have it, and just have one in August the 28th. So I will make that motion.
I'll second your motion, Brady.
Greg, second. Any discussion, you guys? Good. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
That's great.
You're getting short paid again, so.
No more vacation.
Okay. Oh God, there was something else
You
too.
make it
Oh,
up.
me and Pam, of course, Courtney and Mike met with the insurance guy last week. He came over after he left Mike, and then he went to Courtney, and then he came over here and met with me and Pam, went over everything. He has never had a town highway department ever have 0 to report ever. He's never had a single highway town ever that they had nothing to report of
Good job,
any
gentlemen.
kind of code violations, any kind of concerns, anything at all. And he told me and Pam that right to us. Courtney, absolute excellent throughout the water sewer department, everything.
Awesome.
He gave Courtney a couple pointers to when we shut off water for people's places to get a form.
Yeah, they want residents, or whoever's requesting it to sign off, so we have proof who requested it for turn on, turn offs.
Yeah, and that what happened, because of what happened from another town is, we shut it off just thinking, they know we're shutting off the point of turn off, they're gonna take care of everything inside. What happened is, they shut it off, someone assumed, and this is another town, someone assumed that they were gonna actually shut it off inside everything. Well, their pipes bust and all that. Come spring, they called, not Courtney, but the water department, turned it back on for us. All the pipes inside are all busted. The water went for days. So he gave a recommendation, just because of what happened in another town for Courtney.
Makes sense to me.
And I mean, it was so minor. He said it was one of the best towns he's ever been to for,
Yeah, the only other one was the fire alarm at the water plant again, because there is no fire alarm up there.
yeah, he didn't even mention that to me, yeah.
I'm gonna check a budget for that next year, hopefully get that in.
Like I said, he was very, very impressed, and like he said, you guys know your departments and showed them everything, and it was, just flawless. Yep.
He also brought up, For property owners.
Oh, the
that-
trees.
The trees and the bushes.
Yes, trees and bushes. If we have a concern on intersection, which I'm sure he talked to you, Mike, if we have concerns of people's bushes hanging over an intersection that we do not have the right of way to cut, we are to have Matt send a letter from our attorney to the homeowner saying we have concerns because someone just paid out $7 million claim that the town knew about it, but they didn't take precaution to send the homeowner a thing saying, hey, we can't cut your trees, but if you let us, we will. And they didn't take precautions. It was a bad wreck and it was a $7 million claim on it. So any intersection that we know that we don't have the right way to cut the trees or trim the trees, which we don't have a lot of them, or people just won't let us, we gotta have Matt send a letter.
And you have something in with the letter, basically says, Matt will type it up, we would send it to the owners if they won't let us do anything, and if there's an accident, it's help the owner of the property. So
It's basically gonna put them on notice of creating an
Yeah.
unsafe condition for motorists and.
Yeah.
I mean, and we got a few.
We do.
That they don't.
Yeah, so when we know that, we have Matt do a blank, they say, it's a blanket thing saying this is for any.
We'll give, I'd give us
Gotta be
something to go
certified,
talk to
yeah.
them again.
Yeah, but yeah, they just had like I said, a $7 million claim out of
It's
another
getting hard to
town.
see out of my drive down Dashmont Road, that bushes are coming over.
Yeah.
Might get wrecked there.
I can tell you
I'll
another one
talk
that's,
to him though, he's a nice guy.
tell you another one that's starting to get bad too, is that intersection of your road to the left of the corn.
Where?
The your road at the end coming on 22B with the corn.
Yeah, he
Car
does,
pulled right out in front of somebody
That
yesterday.
will be cut short.
he
Okay.
usually cuts his corner.
Usually pretty good about it.
No, we ended up going every year, right, going more.
Yeah.
But,
he went a little
but I
bit
almost
this
seen a bad wreck there yesterday, and when I pulled up, I'm like, oh boy, I can see why someone coming 60 and someone trying to go
Actually,
down.
Tyler got it.
Yeah, no, I just seen it it was Saturday. Yeah, okay.
Good.
Okay, other business, Rick.
Last week, we went down and we put the
Yeah.
roof over the top of the bell. It came out very nice.
Very nice.
Rick Arnold did a bang-up job doing the welding. It was all custom, so that new frame would fit the old frame. Came out fantastic. I did the work on the sheet metal, and we put Pam ordered the weather vane, and I put that on top. It's all locked in. Nobody's gonna take it apart. So it came out nice. I got the nameplate. I stopped by Friday afternoon. I talked to the boys. I need a 3-inch piece of galvanized pipe, and I'm gonna cut it at a 45. I've got a piece of. I'm gonna weld on a piece of plate on the top of that, and I'm gonna put a piece of nylon on top of that and put the nameplate right on that. So we won't have a problem with rust underneath the nameplate. And I'm gonna put it just to the side of the belt. That way it'll be reasonable and it'll look nice.
Excellent. Looks really good.
Look,
Good job.
really nice.
Thanks for your effort.
It came out nice. I'm pretty proud of that. And I got the other nameplate from Pam and I put that on the amphitheater. That's all.
Awesome.
Weather vane's really cool.
Yeah.
It came out nice.
Thank you, Rick. Thanks for all the work on it. A lot of time.
Rick Arnold did a nice job. Yeah.
Jim?
Two things. Thanks, Adele, because we've been going back and forth on that able system. The second thing, and I'm not sure if you thought about it, I'm sure you did, is I wanted to call a moment of silence for Dave Gillette, who was I'm sure you guys all knew Dave. Dave was our dog control, and Dave passed away there a couple weeks ago. And we just have a little moment of silence to think about Dave. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Anything else, Jim?
That's it.
Diane? Chaka, I tell you, I forgot. You're not allowed to go out of town now. Every time he goes out of town, I get calls up to Ying Yang. He doesn't have any problems when he's here in town, but at least he knows now because he actually took the calls and forwarded them to me, and then I had to take care of 4 or 5 things. But you're not allowed to go out of town.
They know he likes doing
I
it.
was out 4 times in South Acres Trail Park trying to find a dog that had names so bad that I couldn't find, and some woman picked it up and took it to a vet to take care of. I don't know if you ever seen that one or.
Was it Kaiser Robert?
It was so bad, yeah.
Okay,
It was so bad mange. But then again, that dog didn't get mange overnight like that. I mean, I've never seen a dog that bad ever. You couldn't tell if it was a dog, honestly.
I think I saw.
I hate to say it, I have pictures of it. And then, of course, when they took in, but we can talk about it later.
Oh, from the post office?
We want to hear your belly.
But anyways,
Yeah, no, I took care of the post office guy, he came in.
no, Elmer's SBC guy. So anyways, you're not allowed to go. Matt? Mel?
All set.
Okay.
I just had a question for Bob about the signage on the corners that I see all over.
I'm sorry.
The signage on the corners people are putting up for sewer and cutting grass and mattresses, they see them on all the corners again.
Signs that people were putting,
Yeah, for cutting grass cutting and
keep off grass, or, yeah, I see, I know.
power washing.
Yeah. And we have a sign ordinance. And some of those are, I don't know if you.
And they're not really temporary anymore, they're leaving them there all summer.
Yeah, no, I understand, yeah, yeah.
Can I just pull it up and check it? Bring it into you?
Yeah, thanks. Well, I mean,
If I tie a dog to it, he'll take care of it.
yeah, right.
I didn't know
Let
what
me
the
review
code
that, I
was
understand.
for.
Yeah, let me review that, because I mean, it's not an off-premise.
We dealt with that last year about our company, the temporary signs of that we had the farmer's market down on Route 9.
Yeah.
Bridge. So
Yeah.
there's something in the ordinance right now, I don't know what it is out there, but there's something pretty on point about those.
Yeah,
They're starting to pop up all over.
They're starting to pop up all over.
no, I understand.
Down to Route 9, they're all the way up and down. Before
Well,
you hit the bridge.
they're a problem for us, because we're trying to
Yeah,
haul.
definitely.
So now the guy goes get a tractor with tractors,
Yeah,
you know.
all the metal.
So we're going around trying to stay ahead of them, we're putting them up, but, you know, I don't mind putting them against the building. And, you know, they usually got a number on them, but a lot of them put seal coat in driveways.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna seal coat the driveway, whether put it in whoever's driveway. Not in the street corner, because that's what you're doing, you're molding, they're moving it down to the next corner.
I don't think if they're in town right away, you could remove them.
I can review that.
Okay, Bob, thank you.
No problem.
That's all I got, Brandon.
Thanks, Greg.
Right here, Bob, remind me tomorrow, part of me thinks that if those are put in the town right away, you can remove them. I
Yeah,
don't think you can block
Yeah.
a right of way,
Yeah.
access or anything like that, but let me look at that before we just start
Well,
taking them.
well, the other thing too, if they're on a state road, obviously the state right of way is much wider
Right.
than
It's a lot better.
that, so.
Thanks, Greg.
So just remind me tomorrow of that.
Chuck? Nothing?
Missing dogs.
Thanks. Bob?
Well, I think everyone's aware of with the School Street and the demo that occurred at Gail Bradley's property. See, Mr. Stone is here tonight. He did the demo work, so, I know I forwarded that letter, you got that from Aaron Roth that I sent?
Yep.
So Aaron Roth works for, he's the engineer with KAS Consulting, that's the firm that we hired for the monitoring and obtained the variance in the state for us to do that job. So, on the 13th of July, we have an email from Aaron saying that, just a quick update, the site has been cleared of asbestos and the demolition completed, and speaks about the tank that was leaking and on site, and obviously US Ecology spent quite a bit of time down there pumping it and such, the basement, because it gets quite a bit of groundwater. Ben Hankins for DEC is on vacation. My conversation with Ben and Terry, if you can just help me out with this, Ben said, they're gonna come and pump it. US Ecology's gonna spray, power wash the wall, and then the town, they were done. They were done. So then US Ecology came back and said that it was so they had to put in a monitoring well.
Yeah, that would be sump pump hole.
What's that? There was a sump?
We pumped it out the last time and there was fuel oil that was actually caught from the slot bores. When they poured it, we walked out and we could see this fuel oil coming out of the fuel tank and leaking so long. And then I dug up the slot so we could see underneath where that was coming from, and it was coming in. I mean, wasn't horrible. It was just, Aaron thought we should put a monitoring well. Just, and they said they pulled the booms and there was nothing on them the first time.
So on the 18th, follow-up from Aaron Rolfe from KAS, it says, "Hi Bob, I've hadn't had a chance to talk to you about this project, so don't hesitate to call. I've attached the air project monitoring report, which closed out that demolition/asbestos aspect. I spent last Thursday on site along with our air monitor to try and assist with the environmental cleanup of the fuel oil spill. A couple of observations and thoughts. There was substantial staining on the foundation slab, especially right below where the tank was located, and a bit of free product in and immediately below the foundation slab. I suspect that the former owner left the tank at least half full when he abandoned the property, and at least some leakage had been occurring for a period of time. There was a sump pit located immediately adjoining the fuel tank, which was poorly conceived and would definitely not be recommended. I suspect that as groundwater was low, late summer, fall, winter, etc., leakage accumulated on the foundation slab, and then at high groundwater times, spring, early summer, leakage was probably washed by groundwater and then eventually subsided into the sump pit and onto the foundation slab. With the above observations in mind, I think you saved the town of Peru a significant larger headache getting this building demolished. Eventually, that tank would have catastrophically failed, would have had a much more significant release. The town would have likely realized, either with odors or free product presenting in the neighbor's sump pit or basement, or fuel odors at the wastewater treatment plant, which could have been a much bigger issue. I know that we did have some issues down there, and Courtney can speak to that.
Yeah, so we did at some point, it did reach the wastewater plant. We feel we had a significant kill on our microorganisms. It changed things. They did notify DEC, so if our test results show a plant upset, there's a documented reason why. We did get a hold of the county emergency services, and we got some spill booms, put them on our tanks, tried to catch what we could before it went to the river, but I think a lot got through before we gathered all those resources. Process is coming back now, seems to be doing better. There is a slight odor. Pulled tests last week, so we'll see what those say, but our in-house test seems to be everything's coming back fine.
Is this a cost we can push back on the homeowner that was neglectful?
So Mr. Favreau was on vacation, and I contacted Matt when this occurred and spoke to Matt. Because it certainly was a big concern of ours as a town. And Matt conveyed to me that it's not the town's liability at all.
Right.
And that,
We don't own the buildings.
yeah. So, I don't know. Here we are with the board discussing this now, and I'm not sure.
What is the additional cost for that?
Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea, but I'm sure it's quite a bit. I mean, they were here, they pumped it, at least 3 times, right? 3 times because of the groundwater came in, and then they had to come back and power wash, and then the initial trip when they came down, they didn't have the power washer with them, or they didn't have the.
Who are they sending the bill to?
This is US Ecology. What's that?
Who are they sending the bill to?
They mentioned the,
DEC pulled the trigger on it, so
what's that?
it's up to the DEC now.
Yeah.
They pulled the trigger on it,
Right.
where everything's going.
I mean, the goal here was to recoup the cost of this when it's sold at a tax sale or something like that.
I'm sorry,
The
Matt.
goal here was to have the
Yes.
county put these
Yes,
costs.
yep, and that has to, any
I
of the
think
bills.
we need to contact the county treasurer as soon as possible and let her know everything that happened and send her copies of this and say,
I don't have copies of the bills for
Well, we
municipality.
won't, we
Well,
won't.
remember, I think she needs to be given a narrative. These are the steps, you approved all these steps up to here. We started the demo and this is what we ran into. We're just letting you know there's going to be additional costs. What other documentation would you like? I
Okay,
think we get her that as soon as possible.
okay,
So she can get ahead of it, we can stay ahead of her a little bit.
okay.
Sounds good.
I think she'll work with us certainly, but the sooner we get her that information, the better.
Yep, yep. Okay.
Thanks. Anything else, Bob?
No, that's it. That's enough.
So, no mystery, it's been a little wet out. So, it has a tendency to affect our games. I think they've done a good job trying to keep up on fields. Field 2 has been our biggest concern. There were actually ducks around home plate at one point. So we've got the clay to get in there and build it back up around home plate and a couple other spots. But it's just a matter of getting enough consecutive dry days so that we're not putting it in water or even just really wet, mush. But the boys have been keeping up, they're rescheduling. They added another week onto it, so we're continuing through this week with anything rescheduled. We'll do an equipment catch Sunday. Rec assistants will meet Sunday as well, turn in all their paperwork. So summer programs have been going fantastic. We did move basketball inside and right into the intermediate gym. Mr. Favreau was really good about that. So we had that use and we just kept it in there all week. It was just easier. Then we weren't having to contact the parents every single day, letting them know, okay, we're outside, okay, we're inside, okay. So it was just easier. Tennis is still extremely well loved. The kids are out there in the sun, it's fantastic. The guys showed up and blew off everything because I know the school had an issue over there and the town was over there and the courts were all flooded one day, so they did a fantastic job helping clean all that up. So kids are grateful, I'm grateful. Numbers are about as usual. I reopened soccer signups. So we're looking at last record, 143 for Pee Wee, 122 for mites, and 74 for mini mites. And I'll be honest, I've never had a season where I've had 74 kids pre-signed up for mini mites. Mini mites is usually like a last minute thing. Oh yeah, could I get my kid? Usually by now I've got like 40 kids signed up for it. So the soccer program is just going through the roof.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Great, good job.
Anything else on that? Okay, Helen.
I don't really have anything to add. I've done a couple of presentations on Peru history and continue to work with Abbey Farm, so it's kind of rewarding for that.
Okay. Thank you.
It's rewarding to us too.
Tyler.
Pretty busy. Guys are right out straight mowing, getting guardrails done. We paved a couple roads, we put shoulders on them. So, yeah, the guys are busy. That's pretty much it. They're getting what they can in between rain. Plus getting roads ready for paving. We did that for a couple weeks. So, tractor's out there. I know we've gotten some phone calls on tall grass, but he's doing his best. And the grass is so heavy and wet that you can't fly trying to mow that stuff down. So, he's getting there. It just takes some time. But the guys are struggling with guardrails, they're trying to get those done. I mean, the stuff's, we tried a couple different heads on the weed whackers, but it's gonna take some time, so they're plugging at it, they're out there.
Thank you.
The only thing I did add, go back to the truck. Currently, we're 20 years with the turnover or plus. My suggestion is go back and make the trucks a priority. When I first just before I took over, they were buying the truck every 2 years. That would keep them at the 14 range. 12 would be better, but we run 7 plow routes, so we got back to order the truck every 2 years. That still puts that truck before its life 8 years past its warranty. So that's what we're up against right now is, we're running the straight salt. We are gone to I've switched to the stainless boxes, but it's something that started my budget is, I would really highly like to go back to order a truck every 2 years. It's the other equipment we can move out longer, the grade all, the excavator, and dozer and stuff like that. But because plow trucks, that is our main job, most important job really. I would suggest turning them over more because of the electronics in them now. Some of the trucks got 4 or 5 computers in them. It's $110, $120 an hour to send it to either the international dealer, Charlie Boys, with the Freightliner West, or dealer to get work on. And I've already told you, what our parts budget was gone in the end of May, $130,000 gone. It's just, we're going to be wicked in the hole. COVID didn't help because you can't get anything and the price has gone through the roof for everything, but that is my suggestion, just something, I don't need a decision tonight, but as it is, as I stated before, that truck we got was supposed to be a 22, it's a 23, to get a 26, I got to order it in February or March. That's at the 3-year cycle, so they're 2 years out. So it's just something for you to think about, but I would highly recommend that we go back to the 2-year.
Okay, makes sense.
I just have to keep on the tax cap. We'll probably always have a payment or 2 at a time. I think that's the way we're going to have to go because of the price of the trucks. A lot of towns, that's the way they go, and it's easier to maintain the budget. We're trying to save the money and just write a check, which is fine. But when you have the year we've had with breakdowns and stuff, I think we've been told 7 times. This winter, it's not cheap. It's stuff's so expensive. So that's my suggestion, just something for you to think about. I don't need an answer tonight, but I would highly recommend it. And that's all.
You need to talk to the new budget officer.
Oh, we're already been talking. That's all I got.
Thank you. Pam?
A couple of things. Since Dave passed, we've been all kind of talking about it here. We'd like to start a fund to do a hometown banner, hometown heroes banner, and make sure it goes right out front here, guaranteed. And and also, if there's any excess money, send it to the honor flight, because that was very near and dear to Dave's heart. So if anybody wants to donate, that would be great. If you don't, that's great too. So
We met his daughter on Friday.
yeah, his daughter came in Friday and got us all the paperwork, the DD 214 and a picture and everything that she needs, or we need, and said how much Dave talked about town and everybody, and it was nice to meet her. And
Cool.
How do we pay for that payment, that flag?
I
Or the
want
banner, I
to
should
We
say.
sent a check to either, there's a,
225 or something like
yeah,
that.
and it's, the pamphlet says we write a check to Peru, blah, 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 and it goes to Jeannie.
Jeannie,
Yeah.
And then we
So, but also, I think we really need to look at putting some kind of a parking lot in down at Hayworth Mason. We had at least, I'd say at least 200 people come to the concert Sunday, and people parked goofy, to put it mildly. So they blocked
They blocked
all entrances to being able to park around the building. And plus it was pretty wet as it was, so Diane saved the day and went and she was our traffic control officer up at the top of the hill. But, maybe if for right now we can get some cones, to make sure that spot doesn't get blocked again. But, I don't know, there's a lot of use down there and we need a lot more parking.
And we have a good feeling about it when we started
you know, exploring down there for the concerts, and then obviously with the, you know, different things. So obviously we didn't think it would grow this big, obviously with the vendors and all that, and the concerts. But we have to revise what the parking is down there as much as we can. We do know we gotta stay more to the right side than the left side down there for paving or anything like that, because certain area of it still is considered a flood zone or a floodplain or whatever. But we know we can do stuff to the right. And they're trying to get that more.
I think you should try to put it, you know, I consider it the front of the building, but I guess it could be the back, not the flagpole side or the bell side.
The other
The
side.
opposite side,
Yeah.
keep all your traffic away from all your people at the concerts, the farmers markets, the,
Well, and it worked, didn't it work last year, Rick? The people parked over there, and that,
We stayed away
unfortunately,
from that culvert part, that
right,
wet part.
yeah. And the other thing is too, is like I discovered last night when I was patrolling traffic, because they had to go up and, I mean, I was on top of the hill, to have to go down the side road, is that, you know, I'm really sorry, but you might have to walk a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean it, you know, it was like, and then we had a couple of handicapped people, so I tried to get them down, I said, there's gotta be some spots, but then they were blocked, they have every right to be in the handicapped spots. You know, I mean, out of respect, they need to be there, and they have, that's, well, that's the way it is in my eyes. So we did get one guy, he maneuvered himself, and then, the other gentleman, we got him as close as we could, because he couldn't get into it, the handicap spot.
So we have somebody down there
So
for
we-
parking?
you got
on
Peter,
Sunday?
Peter Gibbs is gonna come look at the inside.
By the
Probably,
look.
he's there, ask him his ideas.
Yeah,
As far as
absolutely.
drainage, you know, make sure you get the proper
Now,
drainage put
Craig,
in.
if the gate's open, and you know where the house is, or the building is, what happened was that somebody parked, I'm gonna say in that
Yeah.
open area, and that's what happened last night. So when people came around the curve, they kept going around the curve, then they didn't know where to go. Well, it was blocked. So when I went on top of the hill, because I was parked way up on top of the hill, I don't even know if it's you're supposed to even drive on it, but it was the only way people could park, because people were leaving, and we know that there wasn't too many people there. So they went down there, and I just said, park logistically, just park so that.
Yeah, but Ed and them guys do it different when they're at the market, and it seems to work really well. They have the little string banners.
Well, guess what, it was Pam and I last night.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, should we have somebody down there, you know?
So,
Yeah, the farmer's market's worked well, I mean, it's
Yeah.
wetter than it's ever been.
But yeah, if it doesn't dry out this weekend, so,
Yeah.
I mean, there's standing water in the back corner.
and there's that
The
monster
building,
thing, it's a monster thing.
You're getting more and more of that yard's getting rutted up, it's wet. Like,
Yeah.
you could easily mow that twice a week, easy down there.
Definitely
One
have
of
to.
the
This one
gentlemen
coming up
was
this weekend is the vendor
doing all
one,
this
and they're
stuff,
sold
and-
out, so there will be a lot of people, so we might wanna look towards the end of the week to see how wet that is down there, and we might have to revent something over where it's wet, because they're sold out this weekend coming.
Keep them up on the upper side where the amphitheater is.
Why don't we meet down there
Is that up on the,
Friday?
Right in front of the concert.
Why don't we meet down there Friday sometime,
That's dry,
um,
it's higher.
and take a look at it?
Okay.
Section on the back.
We'll take a look at it Friday, then take a look at it before Sunday, because if it's still wet like it is, we gotta come up with,
Yeah, it's supposed to
To
rain
let them
less
know.
It's supposed to rain less this week, hopefully.
yeah, so let's see. Okay. Anything else, Pam?
no,
Courtney?
Just a few things to go on the school street property. We are gonna dig down and try to terminate the utilities at the sidewalk. The water line and hopefully find the sewer line. It seems to be plugged now with, I believe, mud, because the foundation's holding water, but we wanna dig down and cap it. The new shade structure is up in the dog park. I think Pam sent everybody the final pictures. That was, majority of that was purchased with the tobacco settlement money, wasn't it?
Yeah.
From last year, to get to it. The new mixing system is in the aeration tanks at the wastewater plant. Took a a lot longer than expected. A lot of grit had to be removed, backing out shoveling. So that's all, that's been completed, and I have all the paperwork sent back in to hopefully get our grant reimbursement for that. Other than that, it's just keeping up with the water. The water plant's been a disaster. Even though a lot of the big storms have skated around us, we don't have a lot of sediment coming in, but the water has been very orange that we've had to filter, and that's really difficult to filter. It takes a lot of attention at the water plant. It's starting to clear up now, so hopefully we can get a few weeks. We'd like to flush hydrants, but we can't start that until we know we have a good water supply where we don't have to backwash so much.
Good.
Other than that, the mowing crew's right out straight. I have a job posting on Indeed to try to get another seasonal person. I was supposed to have an interview today, guy never showed up. Other ones don't answer me. I don't know. Caleb leaves in a few weeks to go back to college. And soccer will be starting, so.
Kids that wanna mow, man?
All right, it's hard to get people to work these days, it's just sad. Yeah.
Thanks, Gordon.
Going back on your hydrants, that was another thing, is he mentioned hydrants to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
we do write down when we do them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, last year or two we've missed flushing because we've just been so busy, but we really need to do it this year. Yeah, just document externally which ones.
Yep.
That way if the fire department has an issue with one, we have proof that we did
Absolutely.
do something with it at some point.
Thanks, Brody. Anything else?
No.
Adele?
Nope.
Okay. So we go to number 17, public comments on agenda items only. Anyone? Okay, number 18, resolution discussion on a motion and second to pay the 2023 July bills.
Motion.
Craig?
Second.
Rick, or not Rick, no.
A resolution authorizing the post audit payment of certain claims bills and invoices to the town, whereas the town board has reviewed and audited the following claims bills and invoices for services rendered and goods provided to the town in July 2023. From town approved vouchers in July 2023, number 202300931, through and including number 202301073, abstract dated 7/20/2023, for the dollar amount totaling $466,222.17. Of that, $32,208.77 was wired, credit cards and prepaid, and $734,013.40 is the remaining to be paid. And whereas the town board finds said claim bills and invoices to be acceptable in full and reasonable amount, now therefore be resolved that payment of the aforementioned claims bills and invoices is approved, and the supervisor being hereby is authorized to make such payment. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
And Mr. Adele?
Yes. Does anyone need an executive session for anything? You?
Mike?
Did Mike, do you need a mic for anything?
The man.
Pending allegations, pending what?
I don't know what you want to call it.
I can't blank on what we're talking about, so.
I'm not sure what you guys are talking about, so,
Motion.
so I need a motion
Oh,
for.
yes, pending litigation.
I'll make a motion.
Yeah, call it. So I need a motion for executive session, Rick made, second by Jim Douglas. All in favor for executive session? Aye. Okay. Won't be any